And welcome to another exciting edition of the pre-weekend kickoff. This is Jordan, as per usual. Let me just turn on the light here. And we have quite a show for you today. I'm going to share with you pictures of my recent trip to OCC. I finally went back to one of my alma maters before joining Syracuse University. I actually went up to Onondaga Community College, and so I'll share pictures of that. And then I want to talk finances. I had an interesting experience today, uh, trying to figure out whether or not I want to start either a Roth IRA or one of these long investment type of products, or start a CD. We'll get into that later. And of course, tomorrow we got the big basketball game against Duke. Want to talk about that? Anything really that comes to your mind? Please feel free to leave something in the chat. I'll also be joined with a very special guest, my own sister Elizabeth. We're going to kind of tag team the show, and we might play another game. So there's a lot of stuff coming down the pipe. You do not want to miss it. And just wondering how you are. It's been snowing. It has been snowing. It's another one of those roller coaster types of weeks where Monday was really, really sunny and the temperatures were in the 50s. And now at the end of the week, we're back below 30. We're back below freezing, and it is snowing. And I think the snow is here to stay. The snow is here to stay, although we're going to get a warm up. No, actually, we're not going to get a warm up until next Sunday. Uh, so these mid freezing temperatures are going to stay with us until about Tuesday. Tuesdays when we're supposed to get highs in the 30s, but it's going to be generally in the mid 20s to lower 30s. So that's not intolerable, it's feasible, I think, for this time of year. And I'm not really looking forward to these cold temperatures, but oh well. That's what it means to live in Syracuse, New York. So, hope you enjoyed the show. Let's get back to the music. Next up is it's Bruno Mars with Anderson .Paak, Silk Sonic, and Skate. Right here, there's something new that you'll. There's something new that I'm debut on the show. Commercial, or what we call spot breaks, and so that'll play probably towards the middle of the show. You don't want to miss it. Hi. Okay.
Hi.
Oh, let me turn down the music. Let me turn down the music, and maybe I can hear you better.
Okay.
Okay. You'll also want to have your regular player open at the same time in a new tab.
Okay. Can you send me that link?
Well, I can put it in the chat.
Okay.
There, it's in the chat. So you should be getting something.
Mm-hmm.
Is this all ready? You just waited for this on time.
Yeah. I'm gonna throw an egg in there.
Wait.
What does that feel like? Let me know when I need to come on.
We're gonna go back live after the song. Did you turn your player down or something?
Yeah, I turned it down so I could hear you.
Yep. So after this Nickelback song, we're gonna come back live.
Okay.
Come back. And for those of you who do not know who that band was or never heard of it, that is the alternative rock band Nickelback. And we are, as you can see, I'm now joined by a special guest live on video. My own sister Elizabeth. Welcome
Hi.
to the live stream. Thank you very much for joining me here live on the show, and say hi to Aunt Janet and Uncle John and Stephanie, who are currently listening, correct? Are currently tuned in at the moment.
Hello, everyone.
It looks like you're muted because we cannot hear you. Check to see if you're muted or unmuted.
I don't think I'm muted.
No, I just couldn't hear you.
Oh.
Or didn't you not say anything?
No, I said something.
Well, I couldn't hear it. It was on. It must have been on mute or something. I don't really know. But anyway, welcome. As you can see, we have Janet and Uncle John and Stephanie on right now. So earlier in the day, you were actually helping me with getting my financial situation in order because I am in massive credit card debt, and unfortunately, I've learned the lesson the hard way. And when I tried to use a I got this credit card when I joined the Costco warehouse, part of the membership, and I thought this would be cool. And the most times when I would use it are probably when I knew I needed to make a purchase, but I didn't really have enough in my bank account, and I would usually use my debit card. However, that seemed to be problematic as over. Let's see, I got this back in May or June of last year, maybe July, and between then and now, I've accumulated over $2,000 in the credit card balance, and but then thanks to Mom, I was able to pay some of it off. I was able to put $1,000 down on a payment, but what you were able to help me with is try to figure out not only how to budget things, but also to look into these long-term investment products like a Roth IRA and a CD, or in these individual retirement accounts. But I was a little bit confused because I talked to an agent over the phone, and I thought I was getting something that actually was going to help me put something away and then let it grow over time and be able to take it out whenever I want. Turns out this was not the case. This was actually for more long term than that, to build on my retirement savings. But and this whole thing still puzzles me a lot. But let me just ask you now:
Then I could scramble.
why did you get a Roth? Why did you decide to open a Roth IRA?
So I have both a Roth IRA and a traditional IRA. But I thought the Roth might be good for you because you can take money out from it without penalty, whereas the traditional, you have to wait until you're 65.
Well, actually, that's not what I heard. There is a penalty for taking it out early, or at least based on what the agent said. But maybe
I just think with a traditional IRA, you can't take it out at all until you're 65.
there is a penalty. And I'll try to pull it up. What they said, what Fidelity sent me. There's this table here. It says early withdrawal. Okay. Oh, it says, and maybe let me share my screen and see if you can see it. Oops, I don't. But you see over in this one, you see over in this column, it says early withdrawal penalties, and this is for a Roth IRA. If you make withdrawals before you are 59 and a half, you might have to pay taxes on your earnings.
Tell him right now.
So actually, it says that for both.
He needs to be careful what he's sharing.
So there are early withdrawal penalties for both Roth and traditional IRAs, according to this chart.
Okay. Well, I have both accounts that I put money into.
And that probably would help me in the long run. But then I asked about CDs, certificates of deposit, and then they also suggested something like uh, a treasury bond, which have higher AYP, which stands for annual annual yield percentage, 1% as opposed to 0.50%. But I think if I wanted to put money into savings, I actually once had a savings account, and I also had a money market account. And I think there are different accounts that offer higher interest rates. But I might just go ahead and probably open another savings or another type of bank account that has some sort of interest rate. Or I need to go over these materials again, look at them more closely, and decide. Because if it's important to save, I think I might want to go with one of these options. Maybe not a Roth IRA, maybe a CD, and that's more fixed income. Or maybe one of these treasury things. It all depends on what I want to do. And if the end goal is to save money so that I have a reserve of cash after I retire or after I stop working, like you said, then that would be good. And it's probably also going to depend on how much I initially invest in the account. If I put, for example, $500 in, as opposed to 1,000, but that I don't think that either. I don't think that matters either. But my initial thoughts were the more I initially invested in the account, the more the return I get on the investment in the long term. Don't know if it's exactly how that works, but don't really know how that works. We're gonna have to talk further, and I'm going to have to explore more about the details and compare and contrast these two, just to see which one of these benefits me. And it also depends on, again, what I want to do. So I think I think everybody except me has some sort of long-term investment account. Oh, sorry. And I'll stop talking about debt and finances. Okay, that was a stupid idea. We're gonna move on. And coming up next after this music and the ad break, I'm going to share pictures from my trip to OCC over the weekend, and it'll be an adventure for sure.
Are you muted?
Welcome back. So, in case you were not aware, on Sunday would have been the OCC Onondaga Community College Percussion Suite reunion where various alumni, various percussion players who played at OCC would be getting together again to play a live concert and put on a performance and then go somewhere out to eat afterwards. Unfortunately, we haven't had one of those since 2018. Don't know exactly why. Don't know exactly the reason for the why this tradition ended so abruptly, but if I had to guess, one of my fellow alumni, one of the percussionists who was responsible for putting these on from 2018 to 2019, took a teaching job at a high school up in northern New York, Indian River, and probably was not able to do it anymore. I'm hoping that we are able to do these once again. But because of that, this Sunday I decided to go up and take a trip to one of my alma maters. And I say one of my alma maters because before I transferred over to SU, I actually went to OCC, Onondaga Community College, for 2 years. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to share with you the pictures that I took. Let me just put it on the screen here. I'm going to share with you the pictures that I took. So we'll start with this building here. This is inside the Gordon Student Center. It's called the Student Central. And actually, funny story is when classes are in session, there is there are these counters over here, and then after how we and these I'm sorry, let me start over. These counters represent the financial aid, the registration desk, anything essential services that uh, OCC provides their students. So how you get help is you pull a number, or at least you used to pull a number. It may be different now, but when I was in school, you pulled a number and then you would listen for your number to be called via an automated system and say something like now serving student with number G245 at counter number 10. And you would hear that going off constantly. And that's the one thing I remember the most about being in this room. And then out here, this is the looking towards the western end of the campus. That's the Whitney Junior Hall. And now we're in the Whitney Applied Technology Center. And this wing, as the name implies, goes to the old major program that I had, which was actually not computer studies, it was computer information systems. And as you can see now, it's part of the School of Computing and Applied Technologies. They didn't have schools when I was at OCC. Everything was a major program. And so, just like SU, they've combined some of their like degree programs into schools. And this was one of the old offices. This is one of the technical support labs. So you go. I took a technical support class where you actually went in and performed different things on computers. And as you can see, the sign here says start your IT career with CompTIA. CompTIA offers the A plus exam, which is an industry standard for entry level IT technicians. And I'm actually taking a program right now where I get well, I get certified in the Google IT support professional program. And once I get that certification, I'm also eligible to take the CompTIA certification exam. And once that, I'm a powerhouse. Moving on. Let me just, that's just the door to one of the computer labs. And this right here is one of the main lobbies for the Whitney building, which actually was didn't have much in it, but as you can see now, we have the chairs, the tables, and the art displays here. This is Whitney Commons, which is actually new. When I was here, this was back in 2007 to 2009. They actually had it was just a lecture hall. Now it looks like it's a business space, as you can see with the ticker symbols here. And this is one of the great views that you can get from out the Whitney building. And that's just part one. I want to keep you listening. So we're not going to show all the pictures at once. Just as a teaser, we're going to play another song. We're going to take an ad break, a quick little ad break here. And then when we come back, I'm going to play some songs. And then I'm going to show you the wonderful views of the city of Syracuse and beyond that I can get from outside these or from within these windows. And that's one of the things that I really missed about being at OCC. So more on that later. We will be back in a jiffy. And here comes part two. Oops, let me turn my camera on. Okay, here is part two of my trip to OCC. And now this is going to be the more picturesque uh, points of view because uh, here we'll see. In a minute, we'll continue to look out the Whitney building, and as you can see, uh, over here in this right-hand corner is actually the city of Syracuse, the city of Syracuse skyline, and it looks pretty from this angle. And there I zoomed in, and as you can see, we got some of the buildings here, and then we got the dome. The dome is actually over here in this right-hand corner, and there's the dome. The dome is more defined over here, and actually that brick building behind that kind of looks like a Jenga tower. That is actually Lawrenson. That is actually Lawrenson Hall, where Elizabeth actually stayed in her freshman and sophomore years. And this is just one of the many views and now we've moved down the hall, and we've actually moved to the second floor, out a window, and as you can see, there is the. Let me just see here. That is more pronounced city of Syracuse, and you just get more of the same here. But then you can actually see Onondaga Lake if you turn the camera towards something else. And we're just looking at pictures of the city through Syracuse skyline. But when I was there, when I was at OCC, I loved it. I would come up to this building every day just to stand and take a look at the views because it was amazing, one of the kind. If you don't know, OCC is at a very high elevation. I think it's above 900, 1,000 feet, and the city of Syracuse is way below that. And that's why you get these spectacular views. And this is actually a hallway leading to the formerly known as the Electronic Media Communications, now the Broadcast Media Communications. Oh, we'll save that. Oh, and we will save that picture. That picture is not OCC. That's actually at home. But this is the first pancake, the first Kodiak cake that I actually made. I used milk and eggs, and I used some lessons that Elizabeth taught me. And I thought it was pretty good. The second one I made two, and the second one was larger than that. And this is my flyer for Haystar IT services up at the bulletin board at the Great Northern Mall for all to see, and that's just the food court, just to prove that this was actually the Great Northern Mall. And I've been doing that a lot this week. I've been doing a lot of don't know. That happened a lot. Yes, that happened a lot. I've been doing a lot of timing. I've been doing a lot of going to various computer stores and businesses. I went to the Van Buren Town Hall, the Great Northern Mall, to pass around these flyers to see if I can get more business. Looks like we're having technical difficulties with the listener. That's probably time for me to get back to the music anyway. Coming up next, we'll play a game. So thank you very much for joining, and we will be back. Well, it's almost time to wrap up the show. I just wanted to make sure that Uncle John and Stephanie, you were having some technical difficulties earlier in the show, and I was just wondering if you're still back on. You're able to hear me now, because I'd always hated when people have technical difficulties trying to make the show as accessible as I can get. So if you're able to listen, see, and hear me, please let me know, and then we can play this game. Now, this is an interactive show. I like to have as much audience or viewer participation, and so I figured what we do is just play a little bit of a game. There's nothing much to it. I'm just going to ask you uh, two questions related to tomorrow's game. For those of you who don't know, tomorrow SU basketball has its biggest game of the season. It plays Duke, the Duke Blue Devils, and so in honor of that, uh, I'm going to ask you two questions, and if you get it correct, then you will get the last song. Start with question number one. The first match. Okay. Oh, here's the question. And if you don't know this, just try to guess. Question number one. Name the date of the first. When was the first game, the first rivalry game between these two schools? I need the specific date of the first game between Syracuse and Duke. That's question number one. And it looks like Elizabeth has signed on or off. So, Jason, in case you missed it, question number one is name the exact date of the first game between Syracuse and Duke. That's question number one. Question number two, this may be easier. Spell the last name, letter by letter, of the Duke basketball coach's last name. And if you can give it within a letter or two, without Googling it, then you will get the prize. So we're gonna play a song or two, come up with your guesses, and then we'll be right back to announce the winner. Question I'll put in the chat. Two questions. No, actually, I'll give you the first question for free. But if the first player or the first listener to correctly, to the letter, spell the last name of the Duke basketball coach, the closest, you will win. So here we go, and may the best listener win. Okay, if you didn't join us before the break, I had asked you how to correctly spell the last name of the Duke head basketball coach in honor of the Syracuse versus Duke game tomorrow night. And I will give you the correct spelling. But before we do, his name is actually Mike Krzyzewski, but that's not how you actually spell it. Alex was the only one who had a very came in with a guess. He spelled it as follows: K as in kilo, KYRZYZEWSKI, and you were very close, but the correct spelling, and I'll show you on the screen just for verification, is as follows: KRY. I'm sorry, it's KRZYZEWSKI. So, Alex, you were very, very close. Actually, you had the K's and the Y's mixed up. And to answer the second question, what was the first game? The first time Syracuse and Duke played each other? We have to go back further than that because they played each other before Syracuse joined the ACC. The first game was actually March 12th, 1966. So the rivalry between Syracuse and Duke goes all the way back to the 60s. Unbelievable. 70, 80, 90, 2000. That's at least 45 years. And this is going to be the last of at least a 45 to 50 year dynasty, respected rivalry between the two teams. I'm looking forward to seeing how well Syracuse does. It'll be a blast. It will be a blast. And I'm going to do the concessions like I do every not every single game, but it'll be a good one. I don't know if they're going to join. Last time Elizabeth and Alex were here and Duke played each other, they were at the game. That's probably why they've come tonight. Hopefully I'll see them at the game. And thank you very much for listening. We're going to leave you with one last song that I think is very appropriate. Can you feel it? Yes, I can feel it. I can feel the rivalry and the electric atmosphere that's going to be Syracuse versus Duke. So let's go Orange. Let's beat Duke. Let's have some fun. And actually, we're going to, next week, I'm going to do a live special. You don't want to miss this. Next week is actually the Z89 banquet, the banquet for one of the radio stations that I was a part of at SU, WJPZ Z89. So you don't want to miss that. I'm going to have hopefully have a special show planned. Might be earlier, might be later, depending on who's available, who's going to be joining me. Hoping to have some Z89 alumni come on as guests, or I'll just reminisce. And I'll be broadcasting not from here, but I'll most likely be broadcasting from the studios of WJPC FM, your party station Z89. It's going to be a fun show. You do not want to miss it. But for now, let's sign off with Matrix and Can You Feel It? Yes, I can feel it.